All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining me for the session. Okay, so it's our end of day session as usual, right? 7 p.m. spot on. And let's have a look at what has been happening within the markets. Good to see you on, Bevan. Okay, now, first thing we're going to need to do and check, obviously, is just, we're going to have a quick recap as to what has happened with the account and that kind of thing. So let's have a quick look. Okay, at this point in time, when we're looking at the account, we have had another losing trade. Okay, so you guys should have picked up a loser, and it was basically like a 0.5% loss, and that was the euro franc. So we did get taken out on that position. Okay, you'll see that within your account history. That's if you kind of entered on that one as well, like I did. Um, Otherwise, what you're gonna notice though, okay, is that our account here, our floating profits, has been dropping now. This is basically due to the fact that prices started retracing again, a couple of the different instruments, okay, that we're looking at. Okay. How's it, Taylor? Good to see you on as well. Okay. Now, first one we're looking at then obviously is the Euro US. Now we have taken this one a little while ago when we got the level broken and took the trade, when it set the itchy free of basically the Chico span free from price. Okay, remember that's one of the big signals we look for. And we basically traded the break of the level itself, the confirmation of the resistance break. Okay. Now, price has dropped on the Euro US. It's been going sideways slightly, has dropped and then picked up, but now it's been dropping again. So that's why we start seeing, a bit of a slight drop in the total over here as well. Okay. So Euro US still bullish overall at this point in time, climbing slowly. Okay. We're not in a profitable level yet. Okay, so we just need to give it time, and that's the thing with these things. They might take some time to get into a profitable level. And that's why we ratchet the way we do, to make sure that we don't kind of push ourselves into a position that's not going to be beneficial for us. Okay, so at this point in time, with the Euro US, we still have to wait for the Kujin-sen, the blue line, to move a bit as well before we can look at even ratcheting our stop or anything like that. Okay. Right. So with this one, there's not really anything we can do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the next chart and see what has happened there. Okay, here we've got something interesting. Okay, remember this one that we looked at a little while ago that I zoomed out and I said we've got a formation forming? Okay, and remember I said that I would be more than happy to play the Kuma break, okay, if this does break upwards. I didn't like the idea of the Kuma breaking downwards, okay, purely for the fact that the Chica was set at not such a brilliant spot, okay. So with that one, we're just going to want to kind of make sure that we don't get ourselves into a sticky situation, and therefore what we do is we're just going to make sure that we analyze this properly. Now, I want to check with you guys your opinion at this point in time. What do you think should happen? Okay, what is happening? Is there a signal? Could we take it? Should we go? Should we rather wait? I want to hear your guys' opinion now on this. So we've looked at this now, from a little bit of a bird's eye view. Let's just get back closer in so we can see the cloud more clearly, and let's hear it. What do you guys think? What would be a good thing to do at this point in time? Remember the signals we looked at. Okay, there's 5 signals that the Ichimoku produces. We've got Kuma breaks, future Kuma crosses, Kujin breaks, Chiku breaks, okay, and Tenkan and Kujin Sen crosses. Those are the 5 signals. Okay, so if you have no sound, just check if your mic is connected properly and that kind of thing. I know sound is coming through on my side. Let's check here. Okay, obviously you won't hear that if you don't have any sound. Um, okay. Just let me know, has anyone else got an issue with sound? Uh, just answer no if you can hear me. Okay, so Bevan can hear me. Dana, I take it you can hear me? I've just muted your mic. Okay, perfect. Okay, 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 so, okay, so Dana's now answered me on that question. Okay. Matimba, good to see you on as well. Okay. Um, just want to check though, guys. Anyone else got some comments they want to make in terms of what we need to do with this particular chart, the bound US? Okay, so here's what we've got. Okay, obviously we've got the cloud break that has happened. Okay. Great stuff, Selo. Okay. Right, so we've had the cloud break that has happened. Okay. It's confirmed. That candle confirmed last night, basically when it hit 12. Okay. On the platform. And therefore we've got the signal to get in. Not only that, we've also got the future Kumo that has crossed and confirmed. Okay. So there's actually two signals happening at the same time. The question is, do we take those? Right. So I'm getting at this point in time, from those of you who have answered, it might be a better idea to wait, but for slightly different reasons. Okay, so I'll go into those reasons very soon. Okay, now normal analysis, okay, with the Ichimoku is we tend to try and find, okay, where price is, how the Tenkan Kujin is situated according to the cloud and price, and where the Chiku span is. We need to check all of those things to make sure that the entry is viable. And you guys remember how I always, kind of told you in the beginning as well that your most difficult entry to try and assess and take is specifically the cloud breaks. Okay, it's purely for the fact that you're almost never going to get everything 100%. There we go. Celo comes up with the issue that we're looking at, as well, the other issues. So we've got three different things telling us to kind of wait, maybe. Okay. Um, Dana basically said we just need to wait and check if the candle would bounce off, okay, of the resistance line. So it turns that resistance into support. Bevan's referring to it as the neckline, basically. Okay, why the neckline? Because those who were on, okay, when we started seeing this happening, round about this area, remember that I said we're looking at basically a head and shoulders pattern forming. Okay, if I zoom out again, check there. Long trend, okay, makes a high, comes down, makes a lower low, okay, makes another high, but makes a higher low. So we had it originally over there, but then with this down run, it extended to over there. So that's all part of the downwards move still. It's almost like a little channel. So that's the lowest point it reached, and now it started going up. And actually, it broke that neckline. Okay, so here's one or two things well, here's one thing that's happening now. We've actually got the confirmation of the break off that neckline. Okay, because that's where the neckline's running. And the candle yesterday actually did that. Okay, now Dana's reason is perfectly valid. Okay, and Seller's reason is perfectly valid as well. Okay, Seller's reason is perfectly valid for the fact if we're trying to assess this with only the Ichimoku signals, I'd rather wait. Okay, but we are getting a clear entry signal happening at this point in time. And the beautiful thing is that this is almost like getting, for me personally, double confirmation, purely for the fact that we've got the head and shoulders formation that's formed, and we've also got the break of that neckline. So I'll actually be inclined to climb into this one, purely for the fact that I've got that added confirmation on there, even though the Chiku isn't that perfectly clear from price. Now, here's the things that we can do. Okay, if we take into consideration what Dana has said, okay, and what Selo has said, okay, there's two things that we can do. Okay, we can actually just wait for the Chiku to clear price, okay, and get above it, and then we can take the entry, because then it's the Chiku breaking price signal, right? Not only that, that'll give us more than enough time to see actually if price does indeed bounce off of the neckline, okay, and continues going up. If that happens, it should put us in the clear. So this means we could probably wait a couple of days longer, okay, and get a more comfortable entry, making sure that, a couple of more things are running in our favor, okay. So the big thing is if you're feeling kind of risky, well, I wouldn't say if you're feeling risky, but if you're feeling confident, okay, by all means, you can start taking a trade, purely for the fact that we've got that extra confirmation with the head and shoulders pattern that is formed here, okay. But if you just want to make a little bit, or take a little bit extra time to make, or get a bit of a more decent entry, then definitely wait for the Chiku to clear price, okay, because at least that'll give us more than enough time to see whether Dana's argument is going to play out or not as well, okay. So for that one, there's two options. It's kind of like a buy and a hold position, or buy or rather wait, okay. It's really up to the fact that, if you want to take it now, by all means, you're just going to get a much earlier entry, okay, compared to what we might get once we clear price, okay, because we'll probably, once it clears price, we'll probably have it clearing right about the level right over there, okay. So it's going to be quite a couple of points extra, but that, in the real sense of everything, it's not going to be that huge of a difference there, okay. So yeah, for that one in particular, let's just wait a couple of days and just check, just see whether other Dana's one plays out or Seller's one plays out. That'll definitely give us that final nod and go ahead to clearly take this without any worries about what could be happening. Okay, like I said, remember, normally with a Kumo break, sometimes they break and they run and we don't get any other entry signal. But here, because of the placement of the Chiku span, okay, it gives us another option, okay, that we could look for, and this means we can wait on the Kumo break signal. Okay, so if this continues going in that direction, we will be getting the entry being shown by the Chiku breaking price. Okay, so that might be the much safer option to take. So therefore, what we're going to do is we're just going to wait, sit back, and check exactly whether this is going to do that or not. So remember, signal we're going to be looking for with this one, the most prominent one, okay, is definitely the buy signal, but we're going to wait for Chiku to clear price. Once that happens, then we can look at jumping in. Make sense, guys? Okay, next one. Let's have a look at what's happening here. Now this one's been pulling back quite a bit as well. Okay. Right, now specifically with this one here, we're looking again at a US franc. Now this is one we got in a little while ago, right? Um, and we had the pullback happening, right? And it started coming down, but then it pulled back again right over here. Okay, so we can see that today's had quite a lot of movement, within the markets, which is nice to see, but it was only much later in the afternoon. Okay. Now, with this one in particular, there's no real signal that we're going to get now. Okay, not that I can see. Right? Look at where the chiku is. It looks like it's going to be heading into price. So therefore, we're most likely expecting what? What do you guys think? That's it, Dana. Perfect. Thanks for filling in that one. Okay. Exactly. Consolidation, guys. Okay, that's what we're expecting now, most likely to happen. So we could see probably a little bit of sideways movement happening for a little while. Okay. This could turn up and go against us. Well, we do not know at this point in time yet. Okay. Now, this could go sideways and continue going down, giving us an entry with price breaking Kujin. So that's something that could come up. But we're going to want the Chiku clearing price. So if this goes sideways and goes down, we've still got it technically in price. So, we might need to wait a little bit longer before we're really going to get an entry for the sell. Otherwise, this is going to continue going up, and it could change the trend. Really, anything can happen at this point in time, but this is too early to tell yet. So we need this to kind of run its cycle, see how long that consolidation is going to last, and whether it's going to take direction or not. Okay. Only from there will we know the best suitable action to take. So again, this is just that type of position where we wait for the market to show us what it is going to do instead of preempting it. It's that simple. Okay. Now, is there anything that we can do on this chart? That's it, Dana. We can move this stop. Okay. So where do we move it to? Let's count the flat sections. One completed flat section, two completed flat sections, a small one, but it is one, and three. So we can pull the stop slightly down to over there. There we go. And this just minimizes any other losses that we could pick up if this goes against us. At this point in time, let's see, what is this going to give? We're already at basically 0.5%, with this level. So we've already kind of, halved our risk with this trade, just by ratcheting it. Given this more than enough room to breathe in as well, just depends on how sharp or violently this pullback is going to be. Okay. And that's it for that one. Right, so let's check the next one. That's the US yen. Now let's see what we've got here. Okay. Now, with this one, okay, here we've been in this one for a little while as well. This has been going sideways now for a little while. Everything still looks good though, right? Future Kuma's pointing down beautifully. We've got the Tenkan and the Kujin in the right order. Okay, price has pulled back past the Tenkan, getting towards the Kujin. Okay, but this is definitely one of those trades, the US yen, that has been piling up entries for us. We've got 3 entries on that one at this point in time, all in profits. Okay, running beautifully, and I'm kind of happy with the way in which this one is running. Okay, there's still more than enough space in front of the Chiku as well, giving this more than enough kind of room to move further if it needs to. Okay, and it should help us to, at one other point, put the stop at a very, very nice level. Okay, now this is going to be the exact same type of situation than the previous one we saw. Okay, there's nothing we can really do at this point in time other than wait and see what the market's going to do. Okay, anything else that we can do again? Okay, with this one, we can move the stop losses. So what have we got? We've got a flat section, but it's not completed. Here we've got another flat section, so it's 1. It's 2. Okay, and because there's a little nip right above it, okay, but that's quite too close. So I'm going to count this as the same one. Okay, not only that, price is quite close to this. So I'll rather pull this down to the next level over here. That'll be level 3. There we go, that's done. Now the next one. There's going to be 3 stops that I'm going to move. There we go. And next. There we go. Okay, stops are moved. Okay, so it was a little notch that it made down. We've got quite a couple of different stop positions here. Okay, but this is how all of these different entries now have the same stop ratcheting method because they've all caught up with one another. Okay, otherwise there's nothing we can really do on that chart in particular. Let's have a look at the next one then. US Canadian dollar. This was that hidden runner that we took a while ago. Okay, we took the Kumo break. Chico was nice and clear of price, and that was the one that I was really confident in taking. Okay, normally when you don't have that clearance or you've got still quite a bit of price, and I'm still a bit wary in taking those Kumo breaks, but because of the fact that we had that clearance, I was more than kind of prepared to kind of take the chance in taking that entry, and it did work out beautifully for us. Okay, so we've got a sell position over there. Our stop loss is situated below it. Okay, so we've got that stop loss in a good position basically. Okay, and this one is running beautifully into profits at this point in time. No other extra entry signal as of yet. So this thing is just steaming onwards. It's running like a locomotive. That's what we like price to do. And the only sad fact is that with no strong retracements or anything like that, we're not adding to this position. So even though this one is profiting beautifully, it's making it difficult to add extra positions and, how to say, multiply the worth of that movement. Okay, so we've just got that single entry. Okay, now at this point in time, all we can do on this one as well is move stops. So let's check it doing that. It's 1 level, it's 2, it's 3. So we're just going to pull from there down to there. Next flat section will give us a much bigger jump from there over to there. So we're going to be in much, much bigger profits then. Okay. Overall, profits on that trade, let's see. Stop loss itself is sitting basically at a 1% profit level already. Okay. Trade itself is sitting at a much higher profit level, which is good. All right, next chart. Euro yen. Now we're looking at the euro yen. Okay, euro yen. This one, couple of things. Okay. Firstly, Monday, I wasn't able to get to the screen, that kind of thing. Kind of a busy and hectic day. Anyway, what happened is there would have been an entry that quite a lot of you would have taken, and it would have been on this candle. Okay, this candle that I've marked here with the arrow, okay, would have been your entry candle. Okay, that's on the euro yen. What signal would that have been that you took? Okay, firstly, who did take that trade specifically? Okay, Selo took it. Well done, Selo. Well done. Okay, I just missed that one. Otherwise, I would have been in. So all I'm doing is I'm kind of waiting for another entry, to get me into that level again. So I'll just be waiting for the next one. So good on you. You got that one. Good one to take. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you took it. It's just I personally missed that one. It happens. No, so I just couldn't get to the screen that day, unfortunately. So yeah, that one, I didn't take, but that's definitely where I would have gotten in for the fact that it moved the Chico clear from price. Now after that, it has pulled back, but remember the pullbacks are all part of the whole move. It's normal. Okay, there's still clear space in front of the Chico as well. Nothing stops this from going down again further. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly how this is going to transpire. Yeah, still good, strong signals being shown and given. So still happy with the way this is moving as well. Okay. All right. Okay. With this one in particular, let's check now. Remember that with this one we had, let's see here, we had this one. Where we got in, we set our stops accordingly. Let's see. No, wait, it looks like I did get in on this one. Yeah. Anyway, okay, yeah, so that's where stop would have been set on that one. Um, I'm thinking of an earlier entry on this one. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. There was another one that I missed, I think. Anyway, that one's running, quite alright at this point in time. Pullback's normal, nothing else we can do about that. Okay, check here. What's happening here? Let's hear it, guys. What's happening here? This one obviously is the Euro franc. So first things first, price is in the cloud, right? Chiku is inside price, correct. What's the future Kuma doing? It's looking like it wants to cross. Okay, Tenkan is spotting up. It's looking like it wants to cross the Kujin from below upwards. Okay, it looks to be turning from bearish to bullish. At this point, it's consolidating. Okay, we're probably going to see a bit more consolidation. We could get a nice clear break upwards. Don't know, but at this point in time, we're going to have to wait and see. Okay, there's nothing else we can really do. Price is just in a very unclear spot. Anything can happen from this point. Remember, we want to wait and see what the chart is going to do, because once we know what price is going to do, we can better act on it. Before then, everything is a guess. Okay. Yeah, you definitely be able to say that this is a weak Kujin break. Very, very weak Kujin break, because the only thing we've got going for us is the Kujin break on that, for the buy signal technically. But that happened on the wrong side of the cloud. The cloud is bearish itself as well. Price is inside the cloud. The future Kumo is in price as well. Tenkan Kujin is also not at the right order. So yes, definitely you can call that a weak Kujin break. Definitely. Okay. And remember, I hate any weak signals on the Ichimoku. So they just get flat out ignored by me. Rather go for the more stronger solid signals than taking something that's only going to be a pure chance. I mean, if we took every single Kuma break that happened, that one we should have taken, that one we should have taken, that one we should have taken, and then obviously we should have been in on that one as well, but we would have been taken out of all of them. Okay, it's why they're weak. Okay, right. But well spotted, seller. Well spotted. Okay, now Euro pound. Interesting one. We had this as a buy a little while ago. Went up, broke past the levels. This was one that was running strong a while ago. Now, any of you had original entries on this, you should have your stops. 1, 2, 3 on the level here. Okay. And you should still be in this. So this is still a good running trade, good profits and those type of things, because you would have been getting in right about this point. So anyone who got in on that as an original run, big bucks that you're making on that one already. Okay. Now, Chico's heading into price, so we're probably going to see a bit of consolidation. We could get stopped out. We've had a good kind of clearance past the Kujin Sen. Okay. Anything can happen. This can still bounce from the level. Okay. We could get taken out. There's a lot of things that could happen. This point in time, there's nothing we can do. We just gotta wait and see. Okay. This could be a train change coming up as well. Okay. This is all just a guess at this point in time. So, euro pound, we just have to wait. It's kind of a hold. Okay. Next one is pound franc. Now this one, doing virtually what the previous one is almost doing, but now this is running against us on another level. This one at this point in time is flirting with that one stop that we've got set. Okay. Funny how that sets the original entry that we took as well with the 7 candle rule. But that one, it is like really flirting with that level now. Probably going to get stopped out on that one. All depends on what happens, from now until tomorrow. Okay. I mean, it could just reverse as well. But we're going to need to wait and see. Okay. This is probably just going to peek through and kind of hit the stop and then continue going. One of those things. Question is it going to take out only the one or is it going to take out both? Purely for the fact that, I've got the levels situated properly and I can ratchet the higher stop, the one that is in profits. I'll actually leave that one where it is at this point in time. Okay. Purely to maybe give it a little bit room so that if I do get taken out of the one, I'm still in the one trade. Okay, before I just ratchet. Price is just too close at this point in time for me to worry about ratcheting it now. Okay, I'd rather make a little bit less on that one trade instead of making a little bit more. Okay, purely for the fact that if this actually does turn and continues going down, I'm going to be making a lot more money. Okay, right. So otherwise, with this one in particular, we also have to wait and see. It's either going to stop us out or it's going to turn around. One of the two things. Okay. Right. Now, pound yen. This one's running quite nicely. It has pulled back quite sharply as well. Okay. Anything in particular that we could do here? Okay, so nothing's happening here, right? We're going to have to wait and see. We could get another entry happening if this continues or starts turning around. Then we're going to have a Kudian break. Okay, sell signal. Going to be a nice sell signal that comes up as well. We're already in a trade. One is already situated on a profitable level. Now, can we ratchet the stops? And if so, here's the big question. Where to? Okay. Remember what I said last time when we started looking at this, right? With where price is situated and that kind of thing. If price continues going our way, that kind of thing, it should move the Kudian into a more favorable direction again, and it did, right? But we always count 3 flat sections back. So this is how we go about it. We've got our first flat section, and it's 3 flat sections back closest to price. Okay, so it's not going to be that one which is the second one, because then the third one is where? It's lower. Why do I want to put it to the closest of the last 3? I'm going to put it, that's the first one. The next level that is closest is that one. Then the next level that is closest is that one, flat level wise, from price. You see what I mean? So this one I can pull from that level to that level now. Then it'll be that level over there. So there's going to be a bit of movement, from one to the other point. That one should do it. Let's move it. Okay, let's get the other one moved as well. That should do it. Okay, there we go. Now they've been moved over to that level over there. Right. Okay. Any questions on that stop movement? Or did you guys get what I explain on that one. You want to make sure that it is, in vertical height, basically, especially when you've got the Kujin moving against you like that. You want to take it from the levels closest to price. Because remember, um, those are the areas you're going to get the first kind of effort put towards to. It's those closest levels. Okay, so if you move it 3 levels back to the left-hand side backwards, 1, 2, 3, we would have had our stop loss a little bit closer. But I mean, after it breaks that level, which is the first level it's going to hit, that's going to be the closest one. So therefore, when we get it in a section like that where the Kujin has started going up, we make sure that we counted 3 flat levels furthest away from price. Okay, or the third closest flat level. In other words, that's one, and then up from there, that's the next level, then that one, then that one. Okay, purely for the fact that that one jumped up. So that's our third level, even though it's the second flat level from right to left. Okay. Right. Next chart. Let's see what we've got here. Here we have the New Zealand US dollar. Now this one we took a little while ago based on the break of the resistance level. Took it, got in, got our stops in place and that type of thing. Now this one has been running for a little while as well now. We have ratcheted the stops to that level. Let's count our levels. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. So therefore this is still set at the normal place. This has gone up nicely, but then pulled back quite heavily as well. Normal type of fluctuation within price, as you can see. Okay, still trending strongly and beautifully. All the other signals are pointing in the nice direction. No other signals that we could take, so we're kind of just waiting again and seeing if anything else or good is going to transpire out of that. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing really that's being produced in terms of signal-wise or those type of things. This still looks good and strong for a nice bullish flow. So we're in 2 trades on that one already. Both trade stop losses are still situated in a negative space. Okay. So once we move it and ratchet the stops a little bit high, we'll have it in a much more better placement. Okay, the big things we want it in a profitable state. Right, now let's have a look here. Are you talking about that section there? Okay, no, it's not a dent. It's more of a slightly angled curve. Okay, if I zoom in, it'll be a little bit easier to see. See there, boom. Okay, for me that's quite close as well. So I'd still count that as one level or a little area, of support and resistance. They're very, very close to one another. So I count that with that part. That's the more solid part. Okay. So for me, that's 1. I skip that one. That's 2, and then I've got the third flat section over there. These 2 are just too close. Okay, to kind of have how would I say I count them as a big difference. And also the other one is basically the biggest flat section that we've got so far on this one, except for that obviously. Okay, so yeah, stops are kind of kept where they are at this point in time. If you have moved it, it's purely due to the fact that you're going very, very technical about it, and nothing's wrong with that. Okay, I mean it's not going to be a huge difference. You'd only have bumped it up by a couple of points in that sense. Okay, maybe like what? Let's see here. What's the level here? It's not giving the level there. Okay, but yeah, I think you would have just bumped it up by roughly 200 points. So on an end of day scale, not that big at all. Okay, so nothing wrong with that. Okay, now next one. Seeing as, remember, nothing we can really do. This one is going to be a wait and see as well. Okay, just getting to that again. We just got to wait this one out. Hopefully we'd be able to move the stop losses pretty soon, so we can get maybe a flat section happening and then another upward spurt. When we get that, we'll start, pulling it in. Okay. Australian New Zealand dollar. Now with this one, we took this trade. This kind of got close at a point in time. Okay, but once this started going up beautifully, that kind of thing, we started ratcheting, came back down, almost took us out, and now all of a sudden started going back up again. Okay, we we are in a profit with this one, which is nice. Okay, trade has been moving up as well. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3. No, wait. Okay, so we set it obviously to the normal stop placement. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That one was pulled in a little bit early, I think. That one should actually be lower because that's not completed yet. Let's just pull that one back to where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. That was a little bit too tight on that one. Okay, right. So, remember what we had a little while ago? We said if we get the pop happening up, which we got about, what, Monday? Thursday. We had that happening. So on Friday, I would have confirmed the break of Kujin. Okay, so it's a Kujin break that happened. Did anyone take that trade? That Kujin break there at the top? If you did, yes. If not, just no. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Okay. Right, so for all of those who's answering no, okay, well done. Okay, you can see that I didn't get in on that one as well. Now, why didn't I get in on that one? Who could tell me? Why wasn't it a good one to get in on? Well done, Matimba. That's it. The chicken span is in price. Okay. And it was in price when it broke there as well. So I just would have waited for the chicken to clear price before I took the other entry. Now it looks like it's going to give that same signal again and have it confirmed tomorrow. That's if it continues going the way it does. Okay. And yes, Tenkan and Kujin is also in the wrong order. That's correct, Anna. Okay. So there's one or two things. We're either going to get another Kujin break happening now. Okay. But again, our problem is Chico's going to be in price. So we want Chico to clear price. That's going to be the main one we're going to be looking for. Okay. But which should happen in a bit of a longer space is a Tenkan and Kujin send cross, which is possible, for coming up pretty soon as well. Okay. So those are the two things we could look at. So we're definitely still, looking at favoring this in the bullish direction. Okay. We're just waiting for a more solid signal, and that's the thing. Okay. We don't want to jump in too early and kind of burn our fingers. Okay. So that one, we'll just leave this and wait before we really take any action. Okay. Now, next one. Australian US dollar. Now, this one's been moving beautifully. Okay. Had a couple of different types of signals that we got through with this one. We're in two trades. We've already ratcheted and moved our stop loss to the original one. Second entry was basically based due to the fact that we got our Kujin break. Okay. Right. And we had it clearing price here. So on this one in particular, two trades, going beautifully. Price is moving nicely. Okay. I want to check from you guys. Can we move or ratchet stops? Let's zoom in slightly. It's going to be easier to see then. And this one is going to be a slightly little bit more difficult. Okay. But I'm going to count this one basically as just one flat level over here. Okay, we've got a flat section for me here. one bump up, two bumps up. Okay, so we've almost got like three little flat sections following one another. But see this almost as, more or less an area as well. Okay, so I'll count that all as one. Then we've got two, a much bigger bump, three, much bigger bump, four. So for me, I can move that one over to there. Okay, I'm going to pop it in place. There we go. It's changed. Otherwise, that one is still at the original spot. Only once we get it running further, we'll be looking at moving it. Okay. And that's it. So this one again is another kind of just wait and see what happens. Next, here we've got another interesting one. Now this is one I did miss. Okay. Now on this one, I remember there was one I missed specifically, and it is this one. Now, okay, I'm just gonna take a wild guess. I take Cello, you're in that one, and you got in on that day's candle. So just after the big red one here formed. I'm taking that guess here because all the signals would have been clear. Perfect. Well done, man. Well done. Okay. Right. Perfect entry position for that one there that you took. Okay. Everything's running beautifully. Here I'm just waiting again for the next break of the level here. But your entry is perfect, Silla. There's nothing wrong with it the way you did it. Okay. That was a proper entry signal to take. Okay. So all good on what you did there. Right. I just unfortunately missed that one in particular, so I'm just going to be waiting for the next signal coming in, and that is the next break of the level over here, the support level. Okay. So we've had a slight retracement. Remember, that's always normal with these types of things. Okay. And then I'll just take it further from there. So, seller, you're already in that trade. You got the signal properly and that kind of thing. Well done. Okay. Otherwise, with this one as well, we're just going to wait a little while longer, before we know what we're really going to do in terms of the franc yen. Okay, now, last chart we're looking at in terms of our trading, pound Australian dollar, and this thing is also just steaming ahead, going lower and lower and lower. Wow. Okay. So obviously the Australian dollar is strengthening quite beautifully, or it's just the pound that's just not doing its thing. Okay. Anyway, with this one, there was no other entry that was given. This one is just continuously trending. Anybody who's been trading this for a little while as well is in good money with this one as well. Been a load of good trades positioned up, while we're going, and then all of a sudden it just started running. So it's multiple entries that are now in good profits at this point in time. Also, all the stops are ratcheted in a profitable level at this point in time. It should be there more or less. So definitely the pound Australian dollar, beautiful, beautiful mover. Okay. Right. Now, that's it basically for the normal end of day session. Okay. Now, I want to open it to you guys. Basically, any questions you've got, by all means, give us a shot. Let me know. We can handle it. Right now we've still got 10 minutes of the session. While you guys are probably typing out your questions, that kind of thing, just going to start browsing through what happened. Where the US Rand rates are and what Brent is doing. So looking at the US Rand, good thing to see though is check here. The Rand is recovering beautifully actually. Right? We're sitting at levels where we were just less than a year ago. So that's looking good. It's sitting at 14.21 at this point. How much further can it go down? I don't know. We could probably see this bouncing up again because apparently South Africa is going to be downgraded to junk status, okay, because of the political risk and that type of thing. So that's not going to be good. Obviously, the markets know that. It's already prepared for and that kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what the effect on the rand dollar rate is going to be like when they actually make the confirmation, okay, of South Africa going to junk status. And the problem is it only gets more difficult from that point onwards to get out of it again. Okay, so yeah, expect maybe a couple of tough times later on happening. We'll just have to see how businesses respond and that kind of thing, according to that. Um, that's it. Okay, Brent is also creeping higher. So luckily for us, even though petrol's had an increase, and I'm expecting we could probably later on still see a big increase coming in. According to this, at least we're seeing a stronger rand being formed now. Even though the petrol price or the Brent oil price is going up. Okay, so it shouldn't have an adverse effect at all. It's just going to be improper management of it that's going to create the issues. So we're just going to need to see, what happens. I wonder how high oil is going to climb, though. That'll be the interesting thing. Okay, according to the HE, this is going to climb. Okay, it's showing the signals, showing the flows, and that type of thing. Where to, we're not sure. We could probably get a bit of trouble around about this level because of the heavy consolidation that's been happening here and the thick, flat Kujin. Okay, and it could go lower. Or it could just, kind of dribble around about the $50 a barrel level, for a little while. Again, that's something we just got to wait and see. Can't really say anything set yet. Okay, at least it looks like some of the prices are recovering. Which is good, but I think that other trade got taken out. It looks like it. We've got a higher profit level here, but check here, we've gone down a little bit more here. So we definitely got taken out. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was let's just check account history. Most recent one was pound franc. So that pound franc, yep, that's the one. Remember? So that kind of finally just kicked us. Okay. Could probably get that one ticked as well. Don't know, we're going to have to wait and see. Find out what actually happened right in our session, eh? I mean, if you check the timing as well, spot on. Happened literally just 5 minutes ago. Insane. Okay. So yeah, we're basically, out of that one. Okay. Right. Okay, so seeing as that's that for most of the session, any other questions that any of you might have at this point in time? Okay, apart from Forex, I think your shares would actually be good ones as well, because they do have, and remember you want to pick them nicely. What you want to check for specifically, okay, and remember it's going to be your end of day charts as well, but your shares tend to have more steady type of trends as well compared to some of the others. So it's definitely a good one to look at as well. Okay, shares you'd be able to set your risk to a very nice level as well. The only thing you've got to remember though is it just depends on how they run their shares though, their CFDs, okay? Because remember, CFDs are going to operate around about the same time, okay, as what the normal economies trading times are. So if you're going to be looking at trading American shares and using it on that, okay, just make sure that it's from 3 p.m. the afternoon onwards, okay, because the share markets in the US are closed before then. Okay, so you won't be able to take a trade or reset your order or those type of things. You're going to have to wait for those CFD markets to open again. Just like that, if you're going to go for any of the European ones, they open more or less around about our normal times, so you're going to be fine with that for normal day trading, but they are going to close around about the late afternoon again, so evening trading won't work with those type of ones. Okay, so you need to just plan it smartly as to how you're going to run it, because you might need to get in at different times, of the day, especially if you're running something that runs with multiple types of countries that it's based in. So you're going to have a portfolio for your European shares, and then you're going to have a portfolio for your US shares. So you know that one profile is basically all ran in the morning, and the other profile is all ran in the evening, based on those time differences that those markets operate in. Okay. That should make it a lot easier for you to manage as well. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a mess. So remember, just set it out nicely, make the management of it for yourself a little bit easier. But yeah, itch is definitely something that can work very beautifully on shares. Okay, very beautifully on those. Purely for the way in which those shares tend to run and trend and that kind of thing as well. So you can pick up some nice ones, from those. So check that out. And yeah, that should be it with that. Okay. Any other questions that you guys might have? Okay, it seems like everything else is perfect then. Okay, great stuff, guys. Thanks for joining me this evening. Okay, had a good session, a lot of fun as always. Kind of like I said, we're at that point of retracements happening, that kind of thing. It's normal. Okay, we'll just keep an eye on this and check out runs, that kind of thing, and do what we need to do. Remember, the itchy takes time, in having those big setups happening. They can take months sometimes, and we've only been doing this now for about roughly 3 months, okay, running it with the live sessions, okay. So there's still a lot of build up to happen and that kind of thing, okay. Right, guys. Thanks otherwise for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and then I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday. I have been made aware that next week, Wednesday, is going to be a public holiday, so there won't be any live trading sessions on next week, Wednesday. Okay. Apparently, it's Freedom Day. But we're definitely still continuing with our Tuesday sessions, okay, for the back testing and strategy testing sessions. Okay, so I'll see you guys then for those on Tuesday. I'll send you the invites and so forth, basically around about Friday. Okay. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of the evening. See you guys next week.